Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Paranormal Q&A with Jack Kenna and
Carly Hall,
Kelly Hall and
Chino, who's now in my
Chino
lap
the cat,
and doesn't want to
who's
leave.
laying on her cat.
So if you hear purring
laying
in
on
the
her
background,
cat, laying on her lap, purring.
if you hear purring in
here's-
the background, it's not me.
Yeah. Bob Burnell, how you doing out there, Bob? I see Bob out there. How's it going out there, Bob? So the cat's laying on your lap, purring. He just came inside, so he's probably feels like he needs attention. You know?
Oh no, he needs Carly time.
Yeah, needs cuddle time because he's probably cold.
Yep.
And his ears are probably cold and all that good stuff.
Yep.
So Bob's doing great, he says. That's good.
That's good.
I'm sure we have others. I don't see anybody else. Oh, there's Bob Marley. Bob Marley. I wish I had Bob Marley on here. Bob Baloney. Sorry, Bob. Bob Marley. He's a great magician. Yeah, musician.
Oh my, you are struggling.
Oh my
today.
God, I am. Yeah, I better just quit. This is just Carly's show tonight. I'll see you all later. Have a good night. How you doing out there, Bob Maloney? Barry Martz is here. Michelle is here. They're all coming. So, Carly, what was your news today? You had something really strange happen.
Yeah.
From last night
it's on live
today.
Yeah. Which I'm actually very glad that I caught. Well, I caught some. No, I didn't have a premonition. That's not a premonition.
That's true.
Because I sensed that it had happened. That wasn't the future. That was the present.
That's true. That's true. It did happen at that time.
So I was sitting and I was recording Minecraft, and I was doing a build for a community of mine, and I sat there and I was like, oh my God, like something just happened. And it was like so like prevalent and so intense that I had to say something because I could feel it through my whole body. I'm like, something happened. Like, whoa. I'm like thinking like something happened in the family. I'm thinking something happened like maybe with you. I'm like, whoa. Come to find out, I go to work the next morning, and during that time that I felt that, there was a meeting, a big meeting, huge meeting, and there was a huge change in the company that did directly affect us. So I was like, I went into work today, like not knowing what to expect. I'm like, is the building still there? Something happened. So I was sincerely shocked at that last night, and I actually said something on. Of course, he's gonna be like, "Why are you petting me like that? He's gonna bite my hand." The cat underneath. Yeah. Now he's gonna leave.
Just so they know what you're talking about there.
Yes. So, so I went in the next morning, and they were like, "Yeah, apparently we just got this email like 15 minutes ago that they had a meeting last night, and like this changed." I was like, "Oh, I can't name names, and I can't use specifics, obviously, but that was very weird." And I actually went back home and I played you the clip where I said like something happened.
Yeah, she did. She actually was. Yeah. It was while she was streaming her other stuff last night. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I just want to say hi to Not Another Heather. She said she's in here, and Thirsty Tom is here. He says my favorite show on the internet. Well, I appreciate that. I don't necessarily believe it, but I appreciate it. But yeah, and if it is, it's because of Carly, not because of me. That's for sure.
Yeah. And my spidey senses.
The spidey senses. Yeah, the spidey senses were tingling last night. And turns out,
gosh,
major change. Yep, major change.
Yep.
So, and a serious one too. We can't say more than that, but it was pretty serious. So,
which
significant. It doesn't overall affect the entire bone and joint center, but it affects the business. Yeah. Which is in not necessarily in a bad way, I guess.
Yeah, it's so weird. But when people were talking about like COVID, like with dealing with trauma and dealing with your baggage and then moving forward and then advancing to the next level, That was legit, man. That was legit. I mean, I can't tell you like how strong my abilities have increased like over time. Like it wasn't even just overnight. It's like, oh wow, okay, hit me upside the head and like run me over. But like I can notice a definite difference. It's a lot more easier and very it's like a transition. So a lot of discovery to happen in the next coming months for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, and thank you, Heather. I appreciate that. Heather says she loves me, but don't get jealous, Carly. It's okay.
I'm not. No worries.
Okay.
I'll always have Chino, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I set that to the wrong spot there too. But thank you, Heather. I posted to the wrong damn place for that.
I'll always have Chino, so I don't care.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
She's on YouTube out there, so I just wanted to.
Nice. Yeah, Barry. Amazing experience. Absolutely. That was weird.
It was weird.
I normally don't say anything about that stuff on stream, but I had to because I'm like.
Well, there's a good question. Since we're not getting too many questions from the audience right now, has any of you out there watching that are listening tonight, had something like that happen to them, where they kind of had a premonition something was really going on, and then something did? We'd like to hear.
Or have something try to communicate you that something happened.
Yeah.
And because that would happen to me a lot when I had my haunting. Like I would get that gut feeling that something happened. And it wasn't always good. It was kind of just be like, hey, prepare yourself. Just put your guard up. But thank you, Heather. I do.
Yeah, maybe in pets like the cat, but I don't know about me. But,
exactly.
I can argue that.
And video games. Yeah. And I guess you.
David is in with us. How you doing out there, David?
Hi, David.
Yeah, but if anybody else is out there, kind of one of those experiences, tell us about it. We'd like to hear about it, And so would the rest of our people out there. We also had something else interesting happen. Is Carly got a notice that they had to cancel her. She was supposed to get the COVID vaccine, and they had to cancel. Yeah, they had to cancel it because supposedly ran out. I got a call today from my place of work. I work for the DOD, as many people know, that they're going to be trying to schedule us to get it. So now I don't know if that's going to really happen or not. Who knows, since the area just ran out of it. But unless the military gets it differently, I don't know. Maybe they get their own quota. I don't really know how that's working. But so Carly was supposed to get it, now can't. Now I wasn't supposed to get it, but now I'm supposed to be going to be getting it. So we'll see.
Right.
That hasn't happened yet. We'll see what has happened. So Bob has a question. Let's throw this up there. It's a long question, as always.
That's always good, though. He has
Bob's questions. I always like
he has
Bob's
good questions.
He said he was listening to Keith and Sam's show. Yeah, this is on just before us. They're from 7 to 8. And if you can catch their show, that's always a great thing to do, too. Good people, good friends. And Keith is actually a member of our Spirits of New England team as well. Anyways, he says he watched the show today, and a question came to me to ask you all. Do you think 1 to 2 demons could be responsible for mass serial killings? I mean, a demon influences a human to do evil deeds and feed negativity. So throughout history, just a couple of evil demons making all these. Well, it is. I mean, it is possible. And having listened to another podcast that was made by some friends at a company I know, production company I know, is called Where the Bodies Are Buried. And it's interviews. They actually talk about these serial killers, and they actually interview them in jail. So, I mean, the guy makes phone calls, and he actually talks to them and interviews them. He's known these guys for many, many years. Tries to make friends with them in order so that he can find out more information about other killings they've done. And it actually worked. They actually had somebody admit to an additional killing on the show that they hadn't been able to identify who killed that person before. So it's a great thing. I mean, it's a great show. But the producer of it asked me if I thought these guys were influenced by anything by a demon or possessed by a demon. And with the exception of a couple cases, I do think most are influenced, if not, directly influenced, if maybe not in one case possessed by a demon. Yes, I do think that's possible. Because when you listen to these guys talk and you actually get to hear them, they have no emotion
no
at all.
empathy.
No
Like
empathy.
no
No empathy. Like
human
they
empathy.
don't even care about human life. Human life means nothing to them. It's like it's just
Right.
you're just nothing to them at all. Which is how demons feel. They hate humans. And a lot of these guys just they hate humanity in general. They don't necessarily hate the person they're killing. That just happens to be there at the time, and that's true of a lot of them. Well, you're the one because you're in my way, so you're around when I'm looking to kill somebody. There's a lot of no rhyme or reason to them all the time. For most of them, some just go after a certain type of person, which actually would make sense. Like a lot of them go after women too, because if you think of it from that perspective, women create life. They create human life, right? They obviously don't do it alone, but they're the ones that carry it and give birth to it. And demons hate that. They hate that. They hate humans. So what better way to go after them? And I don't think that's true. I don't think it was true in every single case, but yeah, I do think it's a very possibility. I think there's more than one or two though going around doing it. I think all demons have that same mindset. So it might be. I mean, it could be one or two because they're not bound by physicality like we are, so they can be in more than one place at one time. And there are different demons for different things, but I think they just pick on whoever's the weakest links are, and a lot of these guys were weak links because of stuff they went through with their own upbringing. Matter of fact, one particular one, his father was also a serial killer. And that's the reason he became a serial killer. So was there an influence of a demon there? Very possible.
Well, you also have the ones where they say, like, the voices told me to do it.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. The one with, what's his name? With the dog telling him to do it. Yeah, he was actually one of the people they interviewed. But there's a lot of these guys that are on that show that you've never heard of before. There's a lot more serial killers out there and newer ones than we think of that really don't even always make the news. But they've killed a lot of people, but they don't just necessarily make the national news. But yeah, there's a lot of guys out there. So I think it's possible. What about you, Carly? I'm sure you probably believe the same. You heard that podcast too.
Yeah,
and Sandy Carr,
it's a great podcast.
Yeah, it is. It actually is. If you can check it out. I mean, I don't push these things for other people. I did. If you're into serial killers and that type of stuff, then listen to that podcast. It's available pretty much on any of the podcast places out there. It's iHeartRadio. It's Spotify. It's there's another one. Anyway, it's pretty much on any of them, and it's called Where the Bodies Are Buried. So check that out. Sandy Carr, how you doing out there? Sandy has recently been in touch with me about her haunting that's going on. We won't talk about that here, but she let me know. Helena King, I just caught that. I didn't see you up there. How you doing, Helena? I almost missed it because we have so many people pop in and they go by pretty fast. I was talking. I almost missed you, Helena, and congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Helena.
Out there. Yeah, Helena. I always say Helena, don't I? Because I think of my mother when I see her. I don't know why that.
I had to throw it in there. I'm sorry.
No, her name is Helena, but I always call her Helena, and I always think of because my mother's name was Helen, and I just always think of my mom when I see her out there. So she should be, kind of like feel good about that because it gives me warm fuzzy when I ever see Helena pop in. So she's a great person. Her and Alex both. I love them both.
They're funny.
Yeah. Yes. And yes, so she is pregnant again. I think it's twins this time. I hate to tell her. I think it's twins.
Mm-hmm.
I won't wish that on her, but it's, Well, Bowie's gonna have a brother or sister, or maybe both. I don't know, or two sisters or two brothers.
Maybe both.
I don't know. We'll see. But he's not gonna be alone anymore. That's for sure.
That's awesome.
He'll still always be the favorite. He'll be my favorite anyway.
Oh gosh.
And Helena says this, so because of what I said. Makes no difference. I like it because you think of your mom. I appreciate that. That's true. I do. I was serious when I said that too. So if you guys got any questions out there, if you just want to wish Helena and her husband Alex congratulations on the baby that's coming, that's an awesome thing. We definitely wish them that. I can't wait to see new pictures. Well, I always love seeing Bowie's pictures anyway, but it'll be really cool to see Bowie and his brother or sister or whoever's.
Now you get double the pictures.
Yes, I know. I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm. And she dyed her hair red, and it looks really awesome. So.
I know. So, but you guys have any other questions? Let us know. Otherwise, we're just rambling along here. Robin says congrats to her. Oh, they're all saying congrats to her. That's awesome. She's a very good friend of ours, and we love her. We got to get over there to see her. They're actually from the UK, in case people don't know. They're a very good friend of ours, and we're going to get out there to visit them one of these days, maybe as soon as COVID's over. Maybe we should just make a trip, Carly, and just go visit them.
I'm good with that.
After the new baby's born. We'll give it a little while, and then we'll go visit Mr. Baby. There's Ellen McNeil is in.
Ellen.
Now, I don't know what Ellen's talking about.
The pregnancy, I think.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, if you found out what caused it. Yeah. Oh, God. What are you trying to say, Ellen? It's not Alex's? I'm pretty sure it probably is. And Robin Kale says, what do you think about the SLS camera? Actually, I have one. I have used it. And actually, I like it. I actually like the SLS camera.
Yeah.
We did capture what I do believe during our last case, which was at the Mana case, we captured a figure moving around in the living room that we were in. And it seemed to be trying to kind of get away from it. Like it didn't want us to see us. And actually, when I presented that evidence to
that was the only evidence we had too.
Really, the only right. We didn't really get any. We didn't get any EVPs. Nothing. That's actually people very typical of a true. Yeah, that's actually very typical of a true demonic haunting. You don't think there's anything there. They don't want you to think anything's there. But we did capture that, and when I presented that evidence, this actually involved somebody who was possessed. That possessed person changed real fast, and they were pissed off.
Oh, that thing came forth. Oh, it was pissed off, man.
It was
it was not happy that it was like, oh no.
We saw the evidence, and trust me, there was a lot more done than just that to verify this person was possessed. But yeah, the attitude of the individual, and it was a young individual, who was really virtually excited about seeing the evidence we caught, and then when we showed them that individual saw it, they became the demon actually came out, became angry, pissed off. Yeah, like I don't think it thought we caught it, and we did. And so I do. That's not the only reason I like the SLS camera. I do like it because I have captured other things in other places, but you do have to be careful when using it because things that are shaped human shape will give you a false positive. So when you're looking at it and you see a little stick figure pop up, make sure there's nothing there that's human shaped that could be causing it. So just a little tidbit of information there. Don't just assume it's a figure, spirit when you see it. But I have captured it several times, stuff in well-known haunted locations as well. We caught a figure over at the Lizzie Borden house down in the basement.
We were over at a concert hall for an event, and I remember we used it, and we were like kind of stepped to the side of the wall, and we were using it on the mirror.
Oh, yes. That was down in Pennsylvania. Yes, and they were getting a figure in the mirror. None of us were in the mirror. We made sure that we were all off to the side, and we just set the camera up in front of it. And it was picking up a figure in the mirror that would move when we asked it to. So it was pretty interesting. That was pretty crazy. Cool. Yeah, that's right too. I almost forgot about that. And Helena doesn't have my enthusiasm. She goes, they built one, they are okay, but give off a few readings that are nothing like a chair. Well, it's true. Like I said, you have to be careful of what it's reading because it will give you false positives, like any other device we use. But actually, I somebody gave me one originally, and I actually went out and created another one because I actually thought I lost that one. Turns out it was buried out on my front porch. So now I have two of them, and I'm probably going to give the other one away. And we'll pass it on to the next person. I already know who I'm giving it to, so don't be asking her out there. It's going to a friend of mine. So they're going to get the other one now that I've got my other one up and working. So it's but I do like it. And here's another question. Hi, Carly and Jack. Real quick question. It can be a short question. It can be a long question. We don't care. Can a spirit cause someone's personality to change dramatically? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's I think Carly agrees with you there. And explain why, Carly. I've been doing all the explaining here.
So when a spirit... Yes. So this can happen, and Helena knows, which I've seen really interesting things with her when this has happened. But if you channel a spirit, their personality comes through you. So the person who's doing the channeling is their personality is becoming what the spirit is because they're kind of meshing a little bit. So the spirit's personality is coming through. This is common during seances. Like if the medium who's holding the seance is trying to channel the spirit, that will happen. That's why people will start talking in voices that may not be their own. Their faces can change. There's some videos that we saw for paranormal evidence where people's faces have changed for a split second. That looks completely like not their own at all. But when a spirit like makes a connection with you, and it's like a cord, it can feed their emotions, which also leads into their personality into you, and you reflect what you're being fed. So yes, absolutely. Yeah,
I'm just going to pop this up there. And Helena says I'm watching this and drawing at the same time. I'm enjoying it. I'd like to see your drawings again. I haven't seen any of your drawings in a while.
She did one of us.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, she did one of us.
That. Oh my God, I missed that. And I'm going to put this up from Bob Brunello regarding the SLS camera. KSLS cameras are setting them up in tripod. And I was using the tripod at the demonic case. That's what I had it set up on. I was just looking into the room, and there was nothing there until we started asking some stuff, and got no real answers on anything else except it showed up all of a sudden, and then kind of moved around the room. I think when it realized I was trying to catch it. I do though carry it around too, but again, I would just say identify your target. If something shows up on it, identify what it is. If there's and again, hold it there for a while, see if it stays, and ask questions to see if you can get it to move or respond to your questions. So I don't think carrying it around is a complete no-no. I differ with you there, Bob, but it's all based on people's experiences with it and stuff. And Preston Beckett has a question first. Do you think a doppelganger can look like what a living person will look like in the future? Oh, that's a good question. I suppose it's possible. I don't know how they would know what you're going to look like in your future, though.
I mean, that's kind of because what you're going to look like in the future isn't set in stone. Correct. So I don't know how you would verify. There's tons of different paths that you can take.
Yeah. So I mean, they might look like an ancestor of yours.
Right. And even
maybe pick up on or something, but I don't know how. I suppose it's possible, but until you get older and look different, you're not going to know for sure.
Right.
Now,
so even
Preston might be getting to the point of maybe when he was a kid, he saw something that looked like, like an older him or something. And now that he's gotten older, maybe that's what it looked like.
Well, I wouldn't
I
say
mean,
that would be
I'm
a
just throwing
doppelganger,
that
then
out
that
there.
might be a family relative
That could
that
be,
had
yeah,
passed.
could be. Usually a doppelganger, there's two things. They'll appear as somebody else you know, not necessarily you. You won't be the one to see it, in other words. They'll look like somebody you know, but you don't necessarily always see their face. A lot of times it happens from behind, or sometimes you'll see their face, but it doesn't always happen that way. I think that's more rare. But it'll look just like that person that you know, and you'll be like, it'll get you to follow them, which can be dangerous. I know somebody else that happened to, and the person chased after them. It was after an investigation, I guess. The person chased after them and ended up being killed. And that doppelganger disappeared. They weren't murdered by somebody. They actually, like, I forget what she said. They got hit by a car or something like that, chasing after them. So weird things can happen, is my point. But that's a good. There's a good discussion for everybody else in the room too. What are you guys' thoughts on that? I don't know if I have a real answer to that one, Preston, but it's a good question. I wouldn't rule it out. I'm just not sure how you would know it's you in the future. I'm just not sure that.
I mean, even with
a person, another person in the future. I'm just not sure how you would validate that.
even with people with tarot cards and stuff, like when you're connecting to spirit and connecting to the universal energy to read that person and be able to tell their future, it's never set in stone. It's always like, well, this is the path that you're currently on. This could result, so keep an eye on it. It's never like, oh yeah, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, you're going to look like this. It's never static, like it's never permanent. You know, everything can always change in a split second, and you have so many things like interlapping with the different possibilities. I mean, you have a higher power that could change things. You could have the opposite of the higher power change things. Like there's this constant fight between possibilities. So I don't think so. And I think that talking to James and Carl Johnson the other day, I think that since they said, you know, demonics can't tell the future. They're just good guessers. I think that if demonics can't do that, I mean, I don't think that doppelgangers would be able to, since demonics are stronger.
Right. Yeah, and yeah, they could. I mean, again, I wouldn't rule it out, but I'm just not totally sure on that one. I don't think I really have a total answer for you there on that one. And Helena just threw this out there. And I forget what. Yes, it can, but it's not always a demon. Some spirits are strong enough to do so, and the person is stronger enough to take it. My eyes change colors, don't they, Carly Hall?
They do, actually.
It is weird.
It is weird. But yeah, absolutely. It can definitely be a human spirit who does it.
And Barry's going back to this about the SLS camera. I've learned that either the software or I don't know if it's not going to be supported. I mean, it's currently out there. I mean, not supported really just means they're not going to do any updates to it. They're not going to fix any bugs that might be with it. It'll probably still be. I mean, I just downloaded it, the 1.8 version the other day because that's what the one I use. So, I mean, it's still kind of out there. You can still download it from their website. When they say they're not going to support it, it doesn't mean you're not going to be able to get the program or the thing to run it. It's just they're not going to do any updates or anything else to it. I haven't heard that, though, Barry, so I'm not sure what to tell you there. And the cameras still are available out there. They're all used and everything else. They're not any new ones. But, we'll see what happens. Hey, and our friend Candace is here, too. And Teresa, you're welcome. She says, thank you for answering her question. You're very welcome. We'll give you an answer that makes sense. And Candace is talking, quantum. I'm going to put hers up here. It depends on how you feel, if we haunted or haunting ourselves, or how you feel about the overlap of time.
Oh, like Haunting on Hill House.
Yes, that's the whole other thing, isn't it? That was a very good series, The Haunting of
Oh,
Hill House. I didn't like the newer one that much. I actually never even finished watching it.
Oh,
But
I
Haunting of
haven't
Hill House,
started it.
Haunting of Hill House, I really like. And just a little information. Those of you who know Candace out there, Candace is a good friend of ours, and we just helped her finish her website for ICU Paranormal. Is back up and running. It was down for a while. We made some major changes to it and did some stuff, but it's back up and running. It's icuparanormal.org. You can check it out if you'd like. And I'm saying this because Carly and I are on her team.
Yeah.
I'm going to post the link out there. It's a link to the website, and Candace is the founder of it. And we have some other great news coming up with regarding Candace and myself, but I'm not going to announce that just yet. But we have some really cool stuff that's going to be going on over the next within the next couple of weeks. It's going to be happening. We'll just hold that off for now. But we also are going to be doing this year. ICU Paranormal is holding Paranormal 3.0, which is a fundraiser for Autism Speaks. And it's going to be held down at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital Paranormal Research Center, down in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. So we'll be down there. It's going to be August 7th through the 8th. I'll just throw that out there as long as I'm talking about that stuff. So check that out. And we also have the Facebook page. Candace has her Facebook page, ICU Paranormal. You can check that out too, where we've got stuff posted and stuff going on there. And we love you too, Candace. But we're going to be doing some more and more things together, Candace and I and Carly. And so keep your eyes open for it. We got new things coming. And Candace has some great ideas regarding the paranormal. And she's also a believer in us all working together to expand the paranormal community and our research. And let's see. I know I saw another question there. That's why I'm looking. If I missed your question, please repeat it. I may be back too far now. Oh, what another one? Let me see. Oh, here's from Sarah Alexia. Okay, I knew I saw another question out there. Hello, I have a question. Should people ever use Ouija boards? Are they still being sold if they actually conjure horrible spirits? Yeah, they are being sold in every toy department that I've seen.
And GameStop.
Yeah, they still consider them toys out there. I don't use them. There is a proper way, safe way to use them. But most people who do that are trained in their use. And a lot of that has to do with doing prayer before you use the board. And it's just a prayer of whatever your belief system is. Making sure you're asking for only the spirits that are within the building, positive spirits to contact you. Yeah, I mean, you get there's a way to use it. And I've always told people there really isn't really any difference between the Ouija board and me using a K2 or any other device to talk to spirits. You're opening, go ahead, Carly, because you're opening a communication with spirit, right?
Yeah, it's still a phone. It's just like you're just picking up a different type of cell phone, really, honestly. I mean, I know Ouija boards have a really bad rap because of people's bad experiences, but that's also due to the fact that they were toys for entertainment purposes only. They are a tool. People thought that, they underestimated them, thought it was just a game, and, they didn't take it seriously, so they had a target on their back. And so, things took advantage of that and came through. And I think that, Ouija boards are a tool. You can use it responsibly, just like a K2 or a recorder. It's not that different. It's still picking up the phone, continuing communication. You can go to, where is it? Lilydale and get certification. I believe it's certification, or at least training to use
training.
the spirit board properly. And it's actually a really, really cool place. I want to visit sometime.
Yeah.
But I personally don't use Ouija boards because of the experience that I had, and I don't want there being any possibility of them coming through easily through a doorway of either myself or somebody, being not having their guard up and not being careful. So, because you never know what people's true intentions are. So I'm
if
very
we did, I mean, we could probably do it safely. We just choose not
right.
to.
Yeah.
But there is a proper way to do it to ensure that nothing negative comes through. And you could have something negative come through anytime you open any session through a spirit box or anything else. But you've got to be careful of, you start that session, you have to close that session. And you've got to be respectful in between. I mean, you got to just, it's like anything else, like driving a car. You don't just go out, buy a car and start driving. You've had training first, right? You've learned how to drive a car. You had to pass, a test that says you know how to drive a car, right? Well, they'll give you a test at Lilydale, but you have to know what you're doing. You can't just pick it up and go, oh, okay, that's how all these problems always happen. That's every case I've had involving a Ouija board. These people usually just went out and bought it and started asking questions, and then would just put it away. They'd never close the session. They'd always leave it open, and they didn't. Oh, I just thought it was a toy. Well, yeah, that's why. Or in some cases, people actually specifically called on a demon, Zozo, to come through the board because they wanted to see what would happen. Talk about not being bright. Why would you call a demon?
That.
I saw it on TV, so I wanted to find out what happened. Oh my God, that was actually what somebody told me once. Like, okay, all right, yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, you don't do that.
I can't just call it up and say, "Hey, can you leave this guy alone?" Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
I could use the spirit box to do the same thing. To be honest with you, but you're gonna get. And Zozo is not an official demon, but there's probably a demon that just pretends it's that.
Right. And that's another thing.
These people have had problems with it.
Whether it's a Ouija board or a recorder or a K2 or divining rods, you never know what you're talking to. Never. Right. It's like talking to a stranger on the internet. You have no idea what or who they are, and they could appear as whatever they want to be. So you always have to be careful no matter what you do. That's why proper protection and shielding and grounding is important.
That was a question I got asked on season 1 of Haunted Case Files. What scares you about the paranormal the most? That you never know what you're really talking to. You don't. There's no way. You can't see them. It's a spirit, so you don't know what you're talking to out there. It takes time to figure that out. Be careful. Be careful. Not that you can't use it, but make sure you learn how to do something first. I would never suggest using one just because, like I said, of our own experiences. Again, when we were kids, we didn't necessarily. Neither one of us actually used it. It was somebody else using it. We were just in the room at the time. So actually, Carly was in a closet. But whole nother story. And let's see. Oh, Helena posted this. I don't know if I have them.
Oh, I do.
You must have them. So said, feel free to share those if you like, and we could always share those. And I see Preston and not another Heather are talking out there, so that's good. I don't know what the conversation is all about, but I'm positive. I always love when you guys are just having like your offside conversations out there, because that's what we want. We got you guys to share with each other and talk to each other and share information. That's what this show is all about, sharing information.
Oh, and Ouija board apps.
Yes, there are Ouija board apps out there, believe it or not. We had a case involving one of those too. And I'm just going to post this up there in case anybody missed it. This is from Barry. He says, if anyone else in the chat room knows about the possible Microsoft issue with the SLS camera, let me know. And as I said, Barry, I have not heard anything about that, but I suppose we could look it up online and probably find out. Probably wouldn't take that long. All right, so let's keep going here. I'm just looking for more questions, people. If you seem to think, and here's somebody I didn't realize. Maybe I did. I probably just forgot. Helena, she loves her spirit board, but you really need to know what you are doing. Yes, yeah. So there's a friend of ours who actually knows, and I know that she knows what she's doing. And you just got to be careful. It's like anything else. Just be careful. So if you decide to use one, just do some research first about how to properly, or even talk to Helena. You're all here. Helena's here. You can always reach out to each other. This is what this show is about, getting you all to reach out to each other, ask questions, and try to answer questions. Not just even by us, but from each other. Because somebody of you may have an answer or a suggestion or some knowledge that one of you, the rest of us in this room don't have. And here's Helena, who knows how to properly use a Ouija board, and she could probably help you with that if you really want to know. Don't all inundate her at once, though, please. Things sometimes go wrong, yes, even for those who are practiced, but I think the same as Jack, you're opening the door that, yeah, you got to make sure you close that door when you're done with it. Don't let it linger.
I sent you the pictures.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I'll have to look. All right. Well, I'll let you go through the questions and stuff here while I try to pull up those pictures. What's the difference between boards and types? Yes, there is difference between different types of boards. There's spirit boards, there's Ouija boards, there's all kinds of boards.
Yeah, all kinds of boards. Barry says, I may have asked this question before in a previous Q&A, but I don't know if it was answered. So what is the proper way to close out spirit communication session? So,
go ahead, Carl.
Yeah. So the proper way to close out a communication session would be to, speak your intent. Say you were just like, oh, thank you for talking to me. I appreciate your time. I'm going to close the session now. And those spirits that were communicating with me will no longer be communicating. This session is now closed. Thank you. And you have to speak out your intent, and you have to be very intentful. And then when you leave a location, make sure you say, I want the spirits to stay here and not follow me home. You don't want any stragglers. Had that happen. But yeah, pretty much just speak your intent. I'm closing, but be respectful about it. I'm closing the session now. Thank you so much for speaking to me. The session is now closed. Hang up the phone.
It's always good to do a little prayer. After that.
Yeah.
Make sure everything's gone. Ask for that. Keep going through there, Carly, because I'm going to do a little something with these photos so I can actually show it as one photo side by side here. I got to do a little quick editing.
What is the coolest case you've ever worked? I think the coolest case that we've ever worked was the 8-year-old with the mansion.
Yeah.
That was like straight out of the movies, man. That was like when we went to the address, I was like, are we allowed in?
Yeah, it was a mansion.
Like
the place was huge too, man.
It was it was like a castle. Jeez.
But
like
that was
lost in it.
Yeah, that was also a demonic case. It was. Revolving around a young, was she 8 years old, right?
She was using a Ouija board on her iPad.
Ouija board app.
It came out through the mirror that she was sitting next to, and that was the one with the milky substance, and it looked like something had like crawled out of the mirror, like flopped on the floor, and like got up and walked away. And I remember the footprints on the floor changed from like a wolf paw to a hoof print to a human print. Like it was very like definitive. Like were.
too. Yeah.
And I remember looking up going like, those are animal footprints. And then it changed into a human footprint from like a wolf to a hoof to a animal foot. And it crawled under the bed. Like that's where the substance went. And that's what she said happened.
Yeah,
like
pretty
I
freaky.
saw it. And I was like, oh. And it would present to her as a little girl.
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty freaky.
And I remember they had black butterflies that showed up at their doorsteps of their bedrooms.
Yeah,
that's
right too. Yeah, that's right too. I do.
It wasn't even like actual black butterflies. It was like paper black butterflies or like stickers.
Yeah, it was really strange.
It was very strange. But that was another case where it was like, it was very odd because you could feel like portals forming in the mirrors, like every single mirror of the house, but it would be very slight. And it would always be when you and I were alone talking about something.
Yeah. And we did actually capture, I didn't notice it at first, took another friend of ours checking through, looking at some of my photos. We actually did catch a shadow figure in one of the rooms. Yes, we did. Michelle DeRoche actually caught it when she was looking at it. She goes, "Did you see this?" I'm like, "See what?" I'm like, "Oh shit!"
I'm gonna have to take a look at that again.
That was in the kids' playroom. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you remember?
I had forgotten about it, but
we had really weird ghost radar activity when we were doing the blessing of that room.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we had.
It started calling out the names of the saints that were along with, but it was ahead of the prayer.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
It was so weird.
It was strange. Well, the whole thing was strange. So
yeah, that was, and the thing that made me happy was the mom made wonderful food, and she was a really good cook. And the daughter drew pictures of us, and I hung them up on my. I still have them. Drew pictures for us to keep of us and everything.
Yes, she did.
So she's adorable. But she would have never. That's one of those cases where you always really need to make sure that you're in, like, keep good contact and build a trust with the children of the household, because she never would have told me. The only time that we figured out like what actually happened, and we were going to say like, oh, it might be something residual, was she just happened to matter of fact tell me that she used a Ouija board on her app.
Yeah. Well, that's the difference of having the right person talk to the right,
So always make sure that you keep good contact with the kids and you build the trust with them, because they can tell you something. Even if it's a small tidbit of information, it can be the most important.
Yeah. We got to have somebody on your team that can do that at least anyway. Right. I'm trying to make sure I find the right 2 photos here because they're exactly the same. That's not the right one.
So, Candace, I'm not sure what you're referring to for that. What did that feel like? What did can you be more specific? Like what did what feel like?
Unless she was talking to somebody else.
Probably.
We never know.
Oh, Heather was talking about the doppelganger questions.
Oh yeah, good point. All right.
That's what they were talking about in the background.
Okay. Gotcha. Keep checking through. I'm still working on this. I'm almost there. Trust me, I'm almost there. Takes a little while to do a little bit of it. Oh, damn, I did the wrong thing. I'm trying to make sure I get the right 2 photos here.
Candace said, Carly Hall, when do I get to kiss your face?
Never.
Oh, the portals. So it was so when portals kind of feel a little bit different to me, depending on the intensity and the strength of them. Very strong portals will actually make me feel like I'm kind of dizzy, like my center of gravity is kind of altered, and I'll start to like kind of feel like, I don't know if anybody else feels like this when they get off an elevator or if that's actually a portal, but sometimes when I get off of an elevator, like on the top floor, I'll feel like my center of balance is like all like spinning. It feels very heavy. So the portals and the mirrors. Yeah, no, I'm getting there. No worries. No, I'm getting there. It varied. So there were some portals in different rooms, like in the playroom. There was a couple in some weird crevices, like little hidey holes that kind of made me feel like kind of weird in terms of my center of gravity. But in other cases, like the mirrors, I'd feel a weird draw to it, kind of like there's one over there or there's one over there, kind of just a weird, you need to focus on this one or you need to focus on that one. Hi Howie. Another sense would be a heaviness, a very and it varies on the intensity of the portal. It's very thick, like miasmic, almost like walking through sludge. You can feel it on your skin. Your skin starts to get really prickly. Sometimes you feel like a little electric buzz. It kind of, I don't know if it depends on the size of the portal or the type of the portal. I haven't figured that out yet. But that's how I typically know there's a portal, is if there's an intense amount of energy in one location and it doesn't move, or my center of gravity is really off. So, yep. Cool. But you also have to be careful though, because I've noticed I have the same reaction to routers, internet routers, and in houses, like in the basements with like the water and the electric and all of that. Same reaction. Just an intense amount of, like, I think EMF pretty much is what's causing that. So I think it's just an EMF sensitivity that I have and just the way my body reacts to it. When I was growing up, I used to not be able to have like TVs in my room or computers in my room because I would just get a massive headache all the time and I would be super restless and I wouldn't, it'd be that same heavy feeling. So I think it's just an EMF sensitivity. But how are you doing tonight, Howie?
All right, I got this done finally.
So the portals and the mirrors were different according to the different spaces, I would say. Those were the different reactions that I had to them. All
right, let me get this up here up and running. I'll let you guys see this, and I think it's pretty interesting. One picture is a little bit blurrier than the others, but I think you'll see what's going on here. So this is what Helena was talking about with the change in her eyes. And I'm going to share this picture out to you guys. Now they've got it where I can share it. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put this up there for you guys to see. And there you go.
Look at that.
So, yeah, and you can see that her eyes got darker. And this is actually kind of what we saw during her demonic case. The girl's eyes changed literally in seconds. Well, same dilated. Kind of lit room and everything else. Yeah, they dilated. Right. Now, this is more eye color change. Yes, but this is more eye color change. But it was something like that where they got really, well, hers dilated. They got really dark.
Her dilated, and they also got pinpoint. But this is interesting because when she sent me these pictures, to me, I feel two completely different people in these different pictures. Like the first one's Helena, like her personality. And when I look at pictures and I see people, I can read the personality. Like I'm able to read off of pictures. The second one is a completely different person. You different personality, different history, different life events. Very interesting. But when she sent me these, I was like, oh, wow. She isn't a demon. She's just a bitch. She's very. I remember when I texted her, I was like, "Wow, this lady is very like forward." She's like, "Yeah, you could say that."
Yeah,
It's very,
yeah, you can
very
see,
cool.
but you can almost see the change in the face too. I mean,
Mhm.
there's something definitely different about it.
The facial features, like the eye, the shape of the eyes, really, honestly,
Well,
kind of.
I mean, they can't. It says it's more of a personality change. It's not necessarily, but it's just what's coming off of that individual.
Right.
But the way they carry their face, so to speak, the way they carry them, so that person carries themselves and stuff like that. It's really strange.
It
But
is
we
very.
wanted you guys to see that you actually see there can be physical changes as well, like in the eyes. Yeah, yeah, the eye coloration, stuff like that. So it's very interesting stuff, and I thank Helena for letting us share that with all you
Yeah.
guys.
And this is a good
Um,
example because she was talking about the question where can spirits drastically change somebody's personality. I
mhm,
mean, her personality was coming through, so Helena's obviously changed to the spirit that was coming through.
right, right. So yeah, they can have physical changes on. All right, so I'm going to pull this down now. This is very interesting. It's we like being able to share that, and we appreciate that Helena let us share that with you. All right, here's I want to put this up. Let me see. Well, it's just I just think about let's just let everybody see this. I'm not sure if there's really a question in there. Um, Talking to my spirit of my BF dead child. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's very interesting. So
I'm sorry about your loss, by the way.
yes, sorry about the
It's very hard.
loss there. Yes. Not much about Ouija boards except that a personal experience I had at research. Some research of Zozo because it said that we were talking to the son of Sam. Well, son of Sam is still alive, by the way. So,
Yeah, and he doesn't go
um,
by the son of Sam anymore, does he?
no, he is son of light or something like that. He's in jail. That's actually that other podcast I was telling you guys about. He's one of the guys they interviewed. They talked to him. So not likely you're talking to son of Sam because he is alive and in jail. Although weird things can happen. Could be something claiming to be him, or maybe it's a demon that's attached to him because he doesn't call himself son of Sam anymore. Again, he calls
Oh,
himself
he
son of
repented,
light.
didn't he? And he's a Christian now. He's a
Supposedly, yeah.
which is
They call
common in
that,
prison.
yeah, they call that, what do guys say? They call that prison religion, found
Yeah,
religion in
prison.
prison. Yeah, if you let them out, they wouldn't be. But I just thought I'd share that. Thank you, MJ, for sharing that story with us. It's a very interesting thing. But yes, very well could have been something demonic that was coming through. Again, Zozo is not an actual demon. If you wouldn't find anything about it in any of the real research. But it does mean it's not a demon pretending to be this Zozo that somebody gave it a name to it.
Or it could be a
Okay.
human who was interested in Son of Sam. Could be a human
Yes,
spirit.
yeah,
Like,
that
I
could
know
have been a human
about Son
spirit.
of Sam. I'm going to pretend to be him.
Yeah, maybe a victim.
Could be
Who
a victim.
knows?
Yeah, maybe the
No.
communication that came across was miscommunication. Was that you,
What?
or was that
I think it
Shelly?
was just I think it was just pipes.
Okay, I just want to make sure it's not the cat.
Indeed's coming up. I don't know. Could be a cat. I don't know. No, maybe it's not the heat. I don't know. Could be a cat.
It's a ghost.
Could be Chino stuck somewhere. Who knows?
Oh, he's in here.
Yeah, Bob Burnell said talks about he saw a shadow person in his house last year. We actually just had our friend. I still haven't called him back yet. Carl. Carl saw a shadow figure in his house just the other day, so I still need to get back to Carl. So shadow person in his house last year, right after he heard my buddy come in and say hi, and came out of my studio and say hi to him, and no one was there. Called him, he was still home, so not a doppelganger, visually, but audibly. Very interesting. So something was messing with it. That's still considered like a doppelganger. They give the voice of someone you know. They can
Yeah,
sound like somebody you know.
yep.
They're still imitating.
I can tell you that's very annoying.
MJ's talking about eye color. He talks about his go blue or gray, mostly gray lately because of stress. I noticed when I'm happy, they're blue. That's a whole other thing. That's emotional. Yeah, emotional states can do that. They say people's eyes can get brighter when they're happy. So I'm glad you guys are sharing stuff out there. And I'm just going to put this up because she's talking about her eye color change. So I'm going to put that up there. My eyes went from gray blue to brown on that day. Carly is very good at knowing if it is her she is talking to her. I get it. Yep. Yeah, the other Helena. She only does it once when the spirit, well, whatever the spirit is, correct. So
she wants to read her book.
Very interesting.
She's got some books she likes there.
So when the other spirit comes in, you know who you're talking to. Well, you would MJ, anyway, right? And MJS, would a demon give a name? Usually, no. They don't like to give their name because to give their name would give dominion over them.
But they have to.
So they don't normally. If they're giving you a name, it's the wrong one.
Yeah.
Demons are tricky that way. If it was something demonic, they would not give you the right name, which is probably why this supposedly demon Zozo says it's Zozo. So that way you don't know its real name because that's not its real name.
But
they do have names, but they'll never give you the real one except under extreme duress, like during an exorcism. Right. And even then, not always. Matter of fact, the newer exorcisms, like James and Nito and Carl Johnson were telling us, they tell them not even to try to get the name of the demon because it can put too much stress on the individual. Yeah. They say there's no real purpose to it. You don't need it in order to cast the demon out. But there's, people agree with that and people don't agree with that. There's still some who prefer to use the old way of, rite of exorcism. Mm-hmm. Again, neither Carly or I do exorcisms. We do not do that. We have people we know that do that. So
yes, we just assisted.
But we help find cases and we call them in once we're pretty sure we have the evidence that's needed to determine whether it is actually a true demonic case or not.
I think that was something that we didn't
mention.
And
believe it or not, it's 9:04 p.m., people.
Oh, is it?
An hour goes by pretty quick. So, Carly, any last things from you?
No. Stay positive.
Throw out your Twitch stuff there. Hey, you have no sound, Carly. What happened to your sound?
What do you mean? Hello?
You just spoke, didn't you? Yep, you got zero sound. Anyway, if you're interested in something different, something new, you can catch Carly on Twitch as she does stream video games and stuff like that. She's a gamer. You can catch her on Twitch, and her username there is thisfruitcake2. And very cool stuff. She even does stream like scary video games, monster ones, ghost ones, all that stuff. See if you can fix your audio. It may have just come unplugged. Maybe that's what the bang was. Maybe the cat knocked your audio out.
Probably.
It's just a USB plug, so I don't know. Anyways, we lost Carly's stuff, but we are done for the night. If you'd like to catch any of my books, if you're looking for any paranormal books to read, you can catch mine. You can find them on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. Just go on either of those sites and look up my name. Just put in Jack Kenna, search for it, and you will find all my books and my comic book on there. So that's it for tonight, folks. We appreciate it. We'll have more new stuff coming out for you soon enough. And but thank you all for tuning in tonight. We love you all. We appreciate you all. And some great questions tonight. Really always appreciate that as well. So we will catch you next Tuesday night for another show. And Barry says, so the Snack Pack Pudding Factory then. I get whatever. I don't know what that's about. They must be talking in there.
We had with the medium, remember?
And Helena says, I need to convince her to come through when I'm on the show. That would be very interesting. I don't know if I'd like to tell you. I might be scared of her. I don't know. Anyways, good night, all. We appreciate you. We love you. And Carly, I know, says good night. You can wave, Carly. We'll have to figure out what happened to her audio. She's yelling in desperation. Good night, everybody.